I just had lunch. All right, so this was brought to my attention, and I've talked to a couple of my colleagues about it. To all you bitch ass hoes who hate me the most, well, I hate you too. Um, okay, so Don's trying to fuck with me again. I was just on a meeting last night for PDA Antelope Valley, in which Wade, every time I'm on a Zoom with Wade or David Barlabi too, they like to point out that my catchphrase is I just can't even, right? So a few hours after I got roasted for regularly saying that, Don put out some sort of tweet getting involved in a discussion that has a lot. There's a lot of links there, so it's not like this isn't a fucking coincidence. In 2018, there was the second anniversary of the Bernie's Coffee Shop. While I was at this coffee shop, a lot of things fucking happened. I was hit on by like three different dudes that night. One of them was Ron Placone. And he had like one of his handlers actually text me a picture of a couple of pictures of us together that night. A couple days later, like one of his handlers fucking texted this shit to me a couple days later. Um, so Ron spent a lot of time talking to me and was like hitting on me. There was also a couple other dudes. I also had the whole Tim Johnson situation going on where he was like way drunk and getting manipulated by Fiorella. And then he spent like the whole ride home because I was his like ride. He spent the whole ride home um, being incredibly drunk and pulling the back of my hair while I'm driving. I we stopped at Denny's so I could try and like put some fucking food in this guy and get him sober. And he was just we almost got kicked out of the restaurant because he was like trying to force feed me. He was trying to like feed. I don't know why my phone does that. He was trying to feed me his food. He was being really bizarre, and yeah, the waitress almost kicked us out of the restaurant. But also, actress Frances Fisher was at this event that night. Don was there with his wife, and Frances Fisher was accusing Don and I basically of having an affair. This is 6 months before we actually had a fling, right? 6 months before it actually even happened. So maybe it's the power of suggestion, Frances. Um, so this was a pretty shitty night for me. It's not a night that I looked back on favorably. It's not something I reminisce on and like think happy thoughts of. Um, so Ron Placone has recently been banned from YouTube, or has some temp ban or so. I don't know if it's a permanent ban or a temp ban. He's got some sort of ban because he is part of that Jimmy Dore network that's pushing misinformation about vaccines and stuff. And these social media networks are cracking down on misinformation because they realize it's harmful to the public. You can't just like misinform the public, get them to fucking kill themselves, and expect that the social media channels are going to be cool with that because that puts them at legal exposure too. That puts them at legal exposure too because you're using their platforms to put out your misinformation. So, and generally, how lawsuits work is folks who are injured by a situation, they're not going to go after maybe the most direct person. They're going to go after the person who has some liability in this situation, who has the most fucking money. That's how it works. That's how lawsuits work. They go after the entity that has the most money. And so every time Ron Placone and Jimmy Dore and Fiorella Isabel and Pasta Jardula get on YouTube and spew their fucking nonsense, they are putting YouTube at risk. YouTube is at the most risk because they have the most money. That's why you all keep getting, and Nico House, that's why you all keep getting banned. It's not a freedom of speech issue. It's a risk mitigation issue. You're putting them at risk because you're spreading misinformation. This isn't a fucking freedom of speech issue. You don't have the freedom of speech to misinform people. Have you never heard of the whole you can't cause a riot thing? You can't just like that whole theater situation. There's like a whole case last study that goes like back over 100 years where they talk about somebody yelling fire in a theater and there was a stampede because people freaked the fuck out. It's not okay to do that. It's not okay to misinform people. You can have legal liability for doing that. And these social media platforms are a much larger target than you are. So no, they're not going to let you spew your nonsense on their platforms. Anyway, point being, so I'm on this call last night. I did a live stream last night about it. I was on the PDA Antelope Valley call. And every time I'm on a Zoom with Wade or with David Barlavi, they always like roast me about how I say I can't even. I say it's kind of a catchphrase for me now. I say it a lot. I have a few catchphrases. That's one of them. A few hours later, my former project partner tweeted, I just can't even, to Ron Placone. And I literally had just been engaging with Ron Placone over Twitter over the last few days and reminding him that I'm the chick that he hit on 3 years ago. On the same night that Don was there with his wife and Frances Fisher was accusing Don and me of having an affair. These are not coincidences. These are not coincidences. This is how men fuck with women. They know that a lot of us are a little hyper-focused and we pay attention to the details and stuff, and that we can connect all these things together. Dude has been taking credit for my work since 2018. Dude has been gaslighting me since 2018. Dude has been accusing me of saying that he raped me, which I never said. Dude has pulled his ignorant wife into the situation to have her gaslight me too, despite the fact that he's been talking trash about her for years. And, you know what? I'm literally just trying to find work right now. Can you just fucking leave me alone, dude? Dude, you made your choice. You decided that you wanted to stay with your ignorant young wife and have a baby. You have now had that baby. So fucking change some diapers. Stop getting in my face. Stop. Oh, by the way, I'm well aware that you're trying to get into Pilar Schiavo's campaign. I'm well aware that you're trying to get into Eric Curry's campaign. I have contacts in both of those campaigns, and I've already alerted them to what kind of a crappy person you are and what a flake you are and how you smoke weed. You don't do shit. You just hypothesize all day. You take credit for other people's work and you don't actually do the work. You keep this bullshit up with me and I will keep making calls. You complain that people call and ruin your job prospects. There's a damn reason we do it. You're an asshole. Leave me the fuck alone.